The language has been released on the Israel aid, on Ukraine, as you point out, and it's really the Indo-Pacific. It's not just specifically Taiwan. There's some others in the area. We have, for example, we've got some great partnerships with Australia and New Zealand and those kinds of things. The fourth component that you alluded to has not been finalized as of yet. What we're hearing is that there's going to be major components of our HR 2, the House's version of how to secure the border, some remain in Mexico type language and things like that, but we're not sure. We haven't seen that. As for how exactly I'm going to vote, I never project exactly how I'm going to vote until we see language, and we're working through that right now. So I've got some questions that I'll want to have answered. For example, one question that looks like it's been answered is, of the $61 billion for Ukraine, how much of that is actually to replenish U.S. military stock? It sounds like it's a little over a third of that, about $23 billion. So we want to verify that. What of the aid to Israel, how much of that is going to Gaza and or other humanitarian organizations? And obviously been huge problems with the UN, with UNRWA, where they had allegedly had employees who took part in the October 7 attack. So I'm going to be taking a look at what sort of delineations there are within all of this. And so it's a little too early for me personally to say yes or no exactly how I'm going to vote on that, because we need to look at those details.
The frustrating thing from our point is we would love to get President Biden to do something at the border. And a lot of us have been holding out saying, look at President Biden. If you want Ukraine aid, we can go to the floor and the votes will be there for that. But we want you to get the border back to where it was 3 years first, because he's clearly not doing it on his own.
I am a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, and I'm on the subcommittee on Europe. I think it was obviously a reflection and a reminder that Iran is a hostile nation in the Middle East that is intent with its proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, of destroying the state of Israel and Jews. And therefore the attack on Saturday, and I was in Israel 2 weeks ago for 4 intensive days of meetings and talks with various parties, that this was not totally unpredicted. Iran is attempting to, through various means, create instability in the Middle East. I think when Saudi Arabia came close to negotiating with Israel on the Abraham Accords, I think that was part of the cause for Hamas's deadly attack on October 7th. I think what is important to note on last weekend with Iran's 350 drones and ballistic missiles aimed at holy sites in the old city of Jerusalem, the Temple Mount for Islam, for the Church of the Holy Sepulchre for Christianity, and for the Second Temple for Judaism, that it was a total disregard and respect for the religious importance of that city. Fortunately, Israel, combined with ourselves and the British, and frankly a unprecedented coordination with Jordan and Saudi Arabia, came together to ensure that 99% plus of the drones and the missiles were shot down, and therefore did not do damage to the old city of Jerusalem and the holy sites that I noted. But more importantly, there were no lives that were lost. But it clearly, I think, reflects that, as we know, Israel lives in a tough neighborhood. And this, in a larger sense, is a fight between radical Shia forces represented in Iran with the revolutionary forces, and the moderate Arab countries represented by Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries, who really want to create an environment for peace and to really start over for the Palestinians that have been devastated as a result of the attacks on October 7th.